how I want to start off today's show, because I think Deadball's going to have, collectively, Connor, Jack, going to have some really interesting takes on Andre's opinion. Bro, what was super disrespectful, because you hate these guys, what was disrespectful about Argentina's penalty shootout celebration? I loved it. I was fucking there for it. I'm there for all that energy.
I'm sure you were.
But walk me through the mind of Andre Gutierrez so we can dive a little bit deeper into why this was hella disrespectful.
So I will say, I think it's nothing new on this show that Argentina has a very special place in my heart. And I'm obviously being sarcastic. So it goes deeper than that. But I do think, look, as a player, when you're in the game and, things get heated up, whatever, dude, you're playing a rivalry match. There's a lot at stake. I fucking get it. But the celebrations after they won the penalty kick shootout, just like mocking the Dutch players in their face, instead of running to your keeper, to your fans, celebrate on your own, kind of like Croatia did, was a little too much. I think there's lines that you can't cross, and there's like unwritten rules, for lack of a better term, in terms of like fair play, sportsmanship, whatever you want to call it. And so to me, it felt like a little bit disrespectful and tasteless in the way that they went about, yeah, we won, whatever, but kind of move on. Now, I will say, I'll preface this by saying that it all started with Enzo kicking the ball at the bench. We all saw that incident, right, during the game, where I was like, what are you doing, my guy? So there was a foul, I think it was the second extra time, not a lot of time left. And Enzo, gets called for the foul, and he just blasts the ball at the bench. Every single player, staff member, coach just got up and at him. Van Dijk sent him flying to the fucking moon. So I think things started there, where it just got really heated up. And obviously it boiled over a penalty kick. So my take on it was, there's lines that you don't cross. There's certain rules that you just kind of have to follow.
Hold on. What did you text me?
Let's move on.
What were the exact words you texted me?
I fucking hate these guys. I was like, I fucking can't stand it.
And he sent me the picture, right, of, I think if you guys saw it, it was everywhere on Twitter. Otamendi just,
yeah,
right, as he completely ran off. And I think the whole team turned to him. All right, so there's the take. Before I give, everyone knows how I'm going to jump into this, or at least Andre does. I have a different energy with football. But I want to hear Connor and Jake. Any of you care to go first? Connor, as the Argentina fan, do you have an opinion on this?
Yeah. I've always got an opinion on Argentina. So let the record state that Van Dijk didn't push over Enzo. He pushed over Paredes for a foul that happened before. And so it was an interesting thing that happened there. I think that Enzo kicked it out because he wanted the ball out of play. There was a lot of energy going on. He saw Van Dijk coming over. He knew something bad was going to happen, so he just kicked the ball away. The Netherlands bench just happened to be there. Did he put a little extra sauce on it because he saw them there? 100%. I think if the Netherlands bench hadn't have been there, he still would have kicked it out. So that right there, that's like what we call it, or my dad always he calls it. He says canchero. Energía argentino, canchero, arrogante, más o menos. Like, I'm gonna kick it out because I want to kick it out. You happen to be there, me vale.
Yes.
Me da lo mismo. It's all the same to me.
Football is football.
Football is football.
The other thing, too, that Jose brought up was, what did you say? It was like pasión, bro. Pasión.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I would say it. So here's okay. Look, before we let Roy Keane jump in again, I think what I want to start off here saying is that, to me, passion and disrespect, very, very fine line, and it's subjective. I think depending 100%. On who you ask, that shit was disrespectful. But equally, depending on who you ask, Chichi dancing with his team against Croatia was hella disrespectful.
Yep.
But again, for me, it was like, it's cultural. It's how they do things. Football is football. I use that term often to just, like, whatever happens on the pitch, it happens on the pitch. I don't think it's personal. Now, again, if you read into everything that happened after the game, Messi talking shit to Weghorst, Kun Agüero coming to his aid, the interviews that happened afterward, them referencing Van Gaal and all the shit that he was talking before the game. He gave them bulletin board material. Like that's the one thing I don't think you ever do as a coach or a player is you don't give a team as good as Argentina bulletin board material.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And so when that shit happened, I was there for it. When the kick to the sideline happened, I stood up out of my chair as I was watching that. I was there. I was locked in. I was there for that energy. The fans, I think, love it. But I'm also just not as a player. I was the same way. I played high level club ball, college ball. I was always the same way. I was not there to make friends. I was there to win at all costs. And if I pissed you off along the way, sorry. But I do what I got to do, man. Like I wasn't apologizing for it after either. It was, it was how I approached the game, and that's how I approach it as a fan. But I do see how like some people can see it as disrespectful. What I don't like though is like again, I said Roy Keane earlier as a fucking joke, just because the guy has this moral high ground that I think a lot of pundits, analysts take when it comes to how they watch other players play the game, when they don't even understand culturally why they do what they do, what the motivation for that shit is. Yeah, I don't know. That's how I took it. So me and Andre went back and forth on this shit. Look, Connor has some great points. I think you kind of see it the way I do a little bit. Jack, anything new, different here?
I mean, I think that's important what you just said, that we're looking at it through a Western cultural lens and asking if this is inappropriate, if this is disrespectful. But it's an expression of Argentine football and culture, and I'm not an expert in that. I'm pretty immersed in Mexican football culture, especially playing here because most of the players here are Mexican. So a lot of shit happens on the field that if you're sensitive and you got thin skin, you might find it disrespectful. They would just say that they're pulling your leg. They would just say that they're expressing themselves. In the larger picture, I would say, who do you do that for, right? Because when I see Argentina doing that, Otamendi waving by, he's doing it for the fans. They don't give a shit how anybody else thinks about them. They only care what the Argentines think about them. They already know that the Argentines are hated by almost everybody. Deservedly so, Connor.
We have zero friends.
We have zero friends.
Yes.
But you don't want any friends either. So when I see something like that, like if that was my team, if Mexico beat the Netherlands in a penalty shootout, and I'd be shocked if Guardado did it because he's like a gentleman, but like Jorge Sanchez going like this or something, I'd probably save that as my screensaver. To be honest with you.
Dead ass. Dude,
that's hard.
Andre asked me if I would have done that. Like, put the shoe on the other foot, right? Like, would you have done that? I'm like, dude, I'm the wrong guy to ask. I would have ran to that bench and grabbed my sack. Like, 100%. I mean, it's like there's on site. Like, it's just like that. That's how I was, bro. Like, that's I was locked in. I was not there to make friends. Like, it's
you
just
immortalized this game. This game will never be forgotten now because of that.
For sure. We now have
Swiss history,
official
bro.
Beef with them. Yeah.
They're always going to remember Shaqiri hitting the double eagle against the Serbs.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
It's legendary. You might not like it, but it's legendary.
It also fuels that rivalry because Jose and I were talking about it before the game. How many times Netherlands have played Argentina, going back to 1978, the World Cup final, obviously 2014, penalty kick shootout, whatever, you name it. There's been a lot of these type of matches that are kind of a lot at stake, but this one just elevates that, right, Connor? Like, as an Argentina fan, now you're kind of looking forward to playing Holland again, right? Like, it's one of those things where, like,
you're looking
for them,
100%.
Exactly. And for them, it's going to be the same shit. Like, if it doesn't happen in 4 years, say it happens in 8 years, whatever it is, they're still going to remember it like it was yesterday. So I think
everybody's going to remember. Yeah,
100%. So I think, Jack, you hit the nail right on the head. Like, it also matters when you're looking at it from a standpoint of which fan are you, and even if you're a neutral, how do you feel about it, right? Like, what's your reaction on it? So I don't know. I was on Twitter about it. Like, instead of focusing on the game, which was a fucking crazy game, by the way. People were just talking about that left and right. And, it was really interesting to see. Like, I follow a lot of Argentinian journalists that actually live in Mexico and work for TUDN or you name it. And just kind of interesting to see their take on it and how, their tone would be very different from like a very neutral, kind of outsider point of view. Like, this is disrespectful versus Argentinians being like, no, but we got, pressured into it. Like, we got mocked before that. You didn't see what happened in the tunnel. I get it. It's part of the game. So
it's part of the game. And Argentina's not in the business of making friends. If you want like an exact moment where this stuff started, I really don't think there was that much beef. I think the Argentines went into it with a chip on their shoulder. They played a game with spite, which I love to say is the great motivator. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we saw Netherlands is offensively dangerous. We have in my opinion, the best slide tackler in the World Cup in Cuti Romero.
Yeah.
I mean, the man had a
Probably
million
up there,
slide
yeah.
tackles that were fair and a couple of them that were
Yeah, I
not
was like,
so fair.
Yeah.
So the Dutch, of course, they're going to get angry about that. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way that we choose to stop you. We got into their head, and I mean, of course, they're going to have reactions about that. We did not go into it looking for a fair game. I mean, you're wearing this France jersey over here to rile me up. Of course, we did it against France. We did it against, Bosnia and Herzegovina. We have a minor rivalry with just because we end up in the group stages with them a lot. Fucking Nigeria too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even
yeah,
Bulgaria
seriously.
knocked us out of a World Cup back in the day. Like, I'm sure we still have some beef about that. And I mean, to be completely frank, Argentina does not forget things. Like this will go on in history. We're probably going to make a song about it, but like one of my favorite Argentine chants is Brasil decime que se siente.
Yeah. I
Where
like
we
that
talk
one.
about Brazil getting knocked out of the fucking World Cup in Italy in 1990.
Yeah.
We're never going to let this shit go. This is 20,
People don't forget.
32 years ago. People
Yeah.
don't forget.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Argentina's
Well-
not in the business of making friends. So
What we're saying, essentially, if you're tuning this show for the first time, don't be soft. Okay, don't be soft. All right, moving on into
Exactly.
our formal show, Box to Box, episode 19. As you guys can see, we got a few new faces on the show.
Hell yeah.
Pumped as shit to have them here. Connor and Jack from Deadball TV. Guys, how are you? How's the World Cup hiatus treating you?
I'm enjoying
It was-
the day off from watching
it's
the
like
games.
Stockholm syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a clock set for 11 today, which I obviously missed. But I woke up at like 9:30, 10-ish, and I kept looking up like, Morocco. Like, who am I watching today? Like,
Exactly.
what's going on?
I love it, man. I love it. I'm so pumped for you guys to be here. And yeah, it feels we're so spoiled, right? I mean, if this was club football season, there were plenty of days in between matches and we're good. But the World Cup comes and we're freaking out. At least I am, anyway.
Oh yeah.
Well, look, guys, excited for you to be here. Of course, we're joined by our mainstay host, Andre, always on the show. And again, as we always say, Box to Box today presented to you by GOLZtv, GOLZ.tv, where you guys can find your free footy content 24/7. Head there today, where you can also find Deadball TV. All right, guys. So on the agenda, we teased it a little bit last week, and I thought we had a decent round of 16 best 11. I'm still not happy. I already added comments below. I already seen some others come in. I wasn't too happy with our back line, but if you guys want to see what that back line looked like and how much in shambles it is, go check out the episode with Macwell, episode 18.
I have some
Episode
comments as well
19,
about
though.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Quarterfinal best 11. We're going to decide, so for you guys who don't know how we did it last time, we're going to go position by position in a 4-3-3. We're going to take turns, kind of go round the horn here. We're going to take turns presenting our pick for any given position. We're going to open it up for debate, agreement, discussion, whatever it may be. But the whole goal of the game really is to in a majority fashion, decide each position. If someone's left out, tough shit. It kind of is the way it is. But we need to get at least 3 people on board to agree to add anyone to any position. The tiebreaker is collective World Cup 2022 performance. So that's how we're going to do this. We're going to start from the back, work our way forward. And I got a feeling Jack's got some hot takes today. So we'll start there at keeper in a 4-3-3, and then we'll move to Connor from there. But Jack, give it to me, man. What's the Deadball pick? The Deadball pick for keeper.
There's
I got
one
a-
right answer.
This should be unanimous, in my opinion.
No, I'm kidding. I got Livakovic from Croatia. Oh no, I'm not defending that
Livakovic?
pick for pick. It's Livakovic. I feel like everybody probably has Livakovic.
I
have.
You do, Connor?
Yeah.
Damn,
I
I
was
was
gonna
you guys
say-
have.
I was gonna go with Bono again.
Yeah, same.
Wow,
Dude,
Damn.
they've gotten one goal allowed, and it was an own goal the entire tournament. Not saying he did everything, but
Now again, put tournament aside. In the quarterfinal, like granted, Portugal didn't get the chances they got against Switzerland. They were dicing and slicing them
Sure.
up. But and
That save against
Portugal,
Felix.
yeah, the one thing that will knock us here, Andre, is that Portugal couldn't get a shot on frame,
Fair.
whether it was in the game or in
Correct.
the warm-ups, from what I saw, to save their lives. A lot of chances.
That's my argument
Yeah.
against Bunu.
Yeah.
Is that also, we're going to
That's
talk
fair.
about Morocco, and there's going to be some Moroccans in here, but
Sure.
I don't think you can give more than a third of the credit to Bunu for them not conceding this tournament. The entire team is literally, they've all decided to become center backs and left backs, and they're just defending for their lives. Like, Bunu's been good. I've never seen Bunu play like this for Morocco. It's like, I'm honestly, like, conspiracy might be on the juice. I don't know. But I felt like Livakovic had more game-saving, or I could say goal-saving saves. It's redundant. Than Bunu did in the quarterfinals specifically.
And also shots on target, period, right? Like Brazil had way more than Portugal did.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's hard to argue against that, actually. I was just going off of what I saw because I watched the whole Morocco game, and it was pretty much a similar, like, mirror image performance from round of 16 to the quarterfinals. But then again, you can't ignore Brazil, dude. Like, they were knocking on the door. Regardless of how not great they were, I think Livakovic, Sorry, Connor.
Well, but you raised a good point though. Bunu had less saves overall, but he did have more acrobatic and dynamic saves. Like, I'm looking at it, he had 3 diving saves, 7 saves inside the box for a total of like 5. That being said, he really had to get out there to stop that Joao curler, which wasn't necessarily going to all the way to the far post, but it was still a really
tough
nice
shot.
save.
It was a good save.
I was out of
It was a good save.
I was out of my seat for that. But Livakovic had, I think, 8 overall, with 1 diving save or something like that. And I mean, the Brazilian shots on target weren't exactly the most threatening. That being said, they're still shots on target. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd be
I don't
okay with Bunu. Like, I respect
I'd be okay too.
the nomination, but yeah, I just feel like Livakovic. I think there's that one where it might be Militao's cross comes in on the floor and Vardio blocks it on his own goal on accident, and Livakovic saves it with his ankle or something. Like, just ridiculous save. Like, that's where I thought Brazil were going to break through, but I mean,
That's actually true. And then you got to ask yourself, if Morocco has to go to extra time, let's say Portugal get the goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they had gone to extra time the way that Livakovic had to, I don't know. Do they win that game? Do we get more saves from Bunu?
Two
The
questions.
defense hold up, man. They were looking rough at the very end of it all. I don't know. Like, that's another thing too, right? Is like, Livakovic had to deal with an extra 30 minutes where he had to only survive. Yeah, and PKs.
So that he
that's
saved
why now
one
I'm
and
just
they
kind of
missed
looking
one,
back at it.
right?
Yeah.
he saved
He
one, and
saves
then
Rodrigo.
Marquinhos hit the post.
Hit the
Marquinhos
post.
hits the post.
Yeah.
Because he guesses
But
right.
to set the
doesn't
tone,
he?
yeah.
Oh no! I
But
think he guesses the wrong way on Marquinhos. But
He
either
went
way,
opposite
misses.
for that one.
Yeah.
He has a 0 clutch factor, by the way. Holy shit!
I know. Why would he be in your?
I don't know, bro. I don't
Stickers
know.
on. But
El Capitan.
I mean, to start, that's fair. To start off, the PK shootout with a save. Granted, Rodrigo shut the bed with that penalty kick, but that kind of just gives your team a little bit more confidence moving forward. So I think when you start ticking those boxes, like from beginning of the match all the way through the very end, I think Livakovic just edges out Bunu a little bit for me.
Yeah, the more that we talk about it, I do think Livakovic. I know you guys are okay with Bunu. I actually, to me, he's a romantic pick. It's hard not to cheer for Morocco in this tournament.
Yeah,
It's so
100%.
Really,
I'm a Morocco fan. Argentina doesn't have a lot of friends. We don't got beef against Morocco. And honestly, depending on this, as it stands now, I'm a fan of Croatia. No telling what it's like after Tuesday, though.
That's fair.
So if the world flips upside down and Morocco goes through to the final against Argentina, what are you going to do?
Fuck Morocco. Are you kidding me? No, I'm done.
It's like, what's add them to the list, right? Like, it's just another fucking
Throw him
team.
on the dog.
Okay. Well, Livakovic. That's what we have. Livakovic. I'm going to concede that. Are we in agreement holistically on that pick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That works for me. Now let's go left to right on the back line. And by the way, we will continue to show these on the screen the way we did in the last video. Our editor will throw them up. So we got Livakovic at keeper. Connor, give me the left back, man. What are you thinking?
Oh, Jesus. Left back. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna piss some people off with this.
No.
You guys ready? You're gonna be mad at me.
All right, go ahead.
Luke Shaw.
I knew it was coming.
Luke Shaw.
Dude, I'm a Luke Shaw simp. I think that
You
guy
are
is
Luke Shaw simp.
I
solid.
almost left, bro. I almost left. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Luke Shaw.
Wow. dude.
I like him. I think he shows up for big games, and this is my bias coming through 100%. There's definitely a better option out there, but
Yes.
I rate him. I rate him 100%,
Wow, dude.
and the man looks solid. Tell me one time that he got outright beat.
I don't think he got outright beat, but tell
He
me a
didn't,
moment he
and
was
that
outright
impressed
great.
me. That actually impressed me because people like this. The English media were so focused on like, hey, we just got to beat Mbappe. It is a one man team in Mbappe, and I thought that was the most naive take you could have, and that Dembele is another beast all on his own, and we're asking Luke Shaw, not Kyle Walker, but Luke Shaw to defend him.
Everybody was focused on the Kyle Walker matchup. Everybody was focused on the Southgate, anti-Mbappe plan. We completely forgot about Luke Shaw. And no, I'm looking. He really didn't have the best rating, but I'm a fan of that guy. I think he holds it down. He gives you consistency in a position that you really need it, that nobody really pays attention to. The battle's on the complete other side of the field, but he held up the back door. And I'm a huge fan of that. I don't think that can be underrated.
Interesting.
He didn't give up any major goals. Didn't concede anything crazy.
But he didn't contribute that much either.
Yeah.
That I will admit. I think that's the worst.
He had some service that Maguire was getting on the end of that they just couldn't convert. Like they weren't able to make good use of it.
Was that Maguire header that went wide? Was that from him? Wow. Okay.
I think so, yeah. And there was a second one where he brought it back into play. Maguire brought it right back in, and it just scrambled around, and nobody could get on the end of it. So,
well, then y'all are in the mud. Shaw's a great fucking pig. Fuck y'all.
He'd probably be like my third, maybe. I'm going with my boy Allah from Morocco over him. That's not even who I actually ended up choosing. I went with Acuna.
Acuna was fair. My pick. Allah's interesting, though. I'm glad you brought him up. So, talk me through Allah really quick.
I mean, my biggest thing with him and probably any other Moroccan defender that you're going to pick is he was under siege for 90 minutes against one of the best attacking teams in the world currently and didn't miss a step. I thought he had Dallo was in his pocket, bro.
Yeah.
Dallo couldn't get anything off. And he gets the assist to end the series. Just to top it off. The one time he's like, I'm going to go forward. I'm just going to bag an assist real quick. And then he goes back to defending.
I thought both Morocco outside backs have been lights out. Hakimi, I know Jose's not a fan of Hakimi, but this tournament alone, especially as
it's not that I'm not a fan of Hakimi. I just think he's overhyped. I think that people look at FIFA and they're like, "Oh, he's really good for me in the video game. Like he's easily a top 2, top 3 right back." I'm like, dude, I'm not going to have this argument. But at the end of the day, like Hakimi is he's a good outside back. One of the best players on Morocco's team, easily, because of what he's capable of doing, how young he is, and who he plays for.
For sure.
But I do think with what we were expecting from him versus Allah, yeah, I mean, everything Jack said. And then really quickly, just as a side note, the series his hops in general, his vertical leap is fucking amazing. Like just crazy. I couldn't believe it. It looked like Ronaldo. Yeah. It looked like Cristiano jumping up for a header.
Because of the camera angles that we get in soccer a lot of the time from set pieces, they zoom out a lot, so we really don't get to see the bunnies that these guys have. But if you see some screen or some still shots from the game, like Lisandro Martinez, that guy took that shit personally when they were calling him short in Man United. He's been working on his bunnies. He's got a 4 or 5 foot vert now.
He's got no choice.
Some of these guys can jump. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, seriously. So Acuna versus Allah, or do we want to lean back on Connor's bold Luke Shaw pick?
It was bold. It's not a howler. It was bold. I think I would give the edge to Acuna for drawing the penalty. I thought that was very clever. And the fact that I don't recall a single moment in the game when Bergwijn did anything on the right wing for the Netherlands.
Or Dumfries, for that matter.
Or
Dumfries was solid against the U.S. And then, and then this time around, he didn't do shit. We had Dumfries in our run of 16-11, but he was a completely different player against Argentina. So,
yeah.
He was one of their worst players against Argentina.
For sure. 100%.
Yeah. And I think Acuna just maybe offers a little bit more going forward because Argentina were actually attacking with a lot. Like defensively, he had the best performance. And he did get the assist, but it was like the one time that he went forward on arguably you could say a goalkeeping error. Like he probably shouldn't come for that. And if he's going to come for that, he's got to get there. And Ruben Diaz, is absolute horrible defending. He's mad overrated. We don't have to talk about that right now.
For Portugal, yeah.
That's what I would give it for
FIFA, but
just a little more balanced. A more balanced performance is what I would say.
I actually had Acuna as my starter too. That was the one that I thought. Luke Shaw is actually an interesting pick though, because we very rarely talk about individual performances that stem from a losing side, and I was expecting, again, I had zero expectations for Shaw. I thought the whole world was fixating on Kyle Walker, and I was like, dude, I'm a Barca fan. Dembus is about to cook, bro. I think he's about to go in there and just glide past Luke Shaw, glide past people, and find Mbappe his goal. But it didn't really happen. And so I think we have to consider that now, at least a little bit. Andre, do you have anything different?
No, that's a really good point. I was going to bring that up. Had England beat France, I think the Luke Shaw argument would be more solid just based on the result alone.
Yeah.
But I do think Acuna is probably the right pick for this round.
Ooh, Luke Shaw in the mud. Okay, so
That's
all
right.
in favor? All in favor? Acuna? Yeah, you're not mad at this.
I can't believe I'm arguing with the Argentine.
You're not mad at
I'm
this.
going for the Argentine, and
Like
Connor's
Taylor
like, no,
Hernandez.
put in the Englishman. God damn.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hold on, what about my boy Acuna?
You were like, y'all probably know what I'm going to
so-
say. And I was like, oh, here comes Acuna. And then you were like, Luke Shaw. I was like, that is not
You're
what
like,
I thought
what
you were
the
going to say. I was like, okay, I don't know anything about you.
Hey, at least he wasn't
I
like
had-
Tagliafico. You know what I mean?
Bro, holy shit.
I would
We're
have had
not
I
going
would
to talk about that right now,
I
but
would've left the
the minute that they subbed out Tagliafico at the beginning of this tournament for Acuna,
dude.
Argentina changed dramatically. Like,
100%.
I think it was Paredes. But we'll talk about that
Yes.
later. I have my
shorts,
opinion.
dude. You can't
all
tuck
right,
in your shorts at the World Cup.
two center backs. We got to feel good about them all the way around. I'll flip to Andre on this one. Do you have we'll start with one, not two. Your pick for your first center back.
Just one, not a pairing. Is that
If you want to do a pairing, we can talk about the pairing, but I
Fine,
think
no,
there's more to talk about. So
I'll do one. And this is kind of a toss-up, but honestly, Dejan Lovren was pretty lights out against Brazil,
Interesting.
in my opinion. I mean,
You know
Guardiola.
I actually don't mind that pick. I mean,
I
Guardiola
don't
was
mind
mine.
that either.
Yeah, but I don't mind.
I think here's the thing. When you look at Lovren, and obviously he's kind of towards the end of his career, some might say. I think this dude can play another fucking 4 years if he wants to. But all that alone, with the pressure of playing against that Brazil team and how much attacking prowess they have, he was pretty fucking solid. Even towards the end of the game,
Yes.
like Neymar starting to dance, dribble, whatever, Lovren would just go fucking studs in, wins the ball every time. In the air, not a liability. Captaining the side when Luka Modric went out. Just overall, like it just keeps adding to his stock, in my opinion. So based on that game alone, I would say Lovren deserves to be there. That's it.
That's really interesting.
Interesting. Here was my pairing because I think if you guys want to, I don't want to just be an all Croatia thing. I had Gavardio, and I don't know if you say it Saiss or Saiss.
Saiss from
Saiss,
Morocco.
yeah.
Saiss from Morocco. Yeah, before he got injured.
Yeah.
And you could tell, man, legs were just going everywhere on that team, left and right. Like they were giving it all, leaving it all on the field. And maybe some of this is like collectively Morocco for the tournament, maybe just subconsciously. But I think he had, until he got stretchered off, a lights out match and frankly a lights out tournament. So those are my two picks. But Lovren's really interesting. I actually think that I don't disagree with that.
Lovren is good, but I'm riding the Morocco hype train for this one. I'm going with
Saiss.
Saiss. Yeah, Saiss.
Yep. Yeah,
Who's your
tough
second
to argue
Jack?
against it. Tough to argue against it.
Yeah, who's your second one, Connor? Out of curiosity.
Ooh, come on. We just talked about it. Yeah, Guti,
Please don't say Romero, bro.
Guti,
Please
bro.
don't say Romero.
Come
man.
on.
The Gooner fan in me cannot take.
bro.
Guti,
Guti, bro.
God, bro.
Come on, baby.
I'm surprised you're going
Unfortunately-
over Otamendi from last game.
Over Otamendi?
Just for last game. I thought
Look,
Otamendi was very, very good.
Otamendi was very good. He was good aerially. I think some of the fucking slide tackles that we saw Kuti get away with, I was surprised that he made it out of that match alive.
He's a slide guy.
I mean,
Yep.
he's a slide god. We see it at Tottenham. We see it here. Like the dude is every time he does it, it gives me the Sergio Ramos that I don't have in my life anymore.
Ooh.
Except
I
way
love
less
that.
accurate, right?
Except,
'Cause, like,
no, they're not the same caliber at all. I don't want. Please don't murder me in the comments. Jesus
Sergio
Christ.
Ramos is the
Sergio Ramos.
So you heard
is
it
a
here first. Deadball.
Sergio Ramos is the goat.
Sergio Ramos.
No.
and Romero are the same guy.
Me and Jack are a couple Sergio Ramos simps. On my
that.
birthday, my 24th birthday, I think, we had like my girlfriend at the time had rented like this really nice Airbnb in like Conroe, Texas, with, like a pool, and we had this huge party going on, and all the girls were like, obviously, swimming in their bikinis. There were a bunch of beautiful women out in the pool, and me and Jack were just sitting inside watching Sergio Ramos slide tackle highlights. We were like, this is fucking incredible. They came in, they're like, what are you fucking guys doing? And we were like, don't worry about it, darling. It's priority.
Don't worry about it.
on like a 24-inch TV, like small ass screen. We're like staring at it. It's called like Sergio Ramos, like the Gladiator or something. It's like the name of the highlight reel. We're just watching.
Hell yes,
Dang.
bro.
And it
Every time he
starts with
slides,
him
we're
just fouling.
This was pre 28th red
that,
card Sergio Ramos. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, that's
So,
amazing.
so Romero is your second one?
I'm going with him purely for the
right.
slide tackles and what he does for Argentina. I understand that there may be better picks here, but yeah, Cuti Romero simp over here.
Got it. So Romero and Saiz,
Yeah.
right? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Jack,
Go
what
with
you
that.
got?
I think I'm the only one from a losing team. I have Van Dijk and Vardiol.
Is it Virgil for the upper body form tackle, or what was it?
That was a plus. I just thought in the tournament as a whole, dude, he's been so freaking good. And against
He fucking
Argentina,
has.
whenever Argentina did something dangerous, it was either because they were going at Blind, Dumfries, or Ake. Like Van Dijk is just a tower. Like
Yeah.
there was
He
a couple
is- yeah,
times I think
he
either
was
Messi
unlucky to stop Molina. He was unlucky. He was hanging off
Well,
his
yeah, I
shoulder.
mean- yeah,
Yeah,
like the fact that he almost recovers in time to block Molina's shot is insane. I
You
thought.
know what? I might even change. I might even change Cuti for Van Dijk.
ooh,
So you go Van Dijk and Saiz.
Van Dijk is nice.
Okay. I
I
just
ain't mad about it, honestly.
I don't think Van
Yeah.
Dijk put a foot wrong the whole tournament. To be
Yeah,
honest,
that's
he
fair.
was
He
so
really
freaking good.
Even
So-
even
so
when he
times-
bodied Paredes, that's the right thing to do. You need your
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Hell
yeah. He's your
yeah.
captain. He's your captain, dude.
Yeah.
Put him on his
Gotta
ass.
fucking do
I'll
it.
do the same thing.
Yeah,
Put him on his.
yeah.
He did that. He did that. Paredes went down, and I was like, "That's valid.
I
That's
am
valid.
mad.
Do it. Do it
I
again."
wasn't mad at any of it, bro. I was
Yeah,
there
yeah,
for
yeah.
all of it. So Virgil or Gavardio?
For Vardiol, my thing with him over Lovren is I think Lovren is able to play how he is currently because of Vardiol. Because Vardiol is an athletic freak. Because he
Great fucking
recovers
point.
Dude, he really is.
and covers so much space. But Lovren, dude, when I saw that he was going to be the second pairing, I didn't know if they were going to bring one of the younger guys in. I was like, oh god,
Yeah.
my teams are just going to attack Lovren. They're just going to go down that side because Vardiol plays as the left center back. Like they're going to go down the left side of the field and attack him. Hasn't happened the entire tournament because nobody's been able to actually make it past the Croatian fullbacks and Vardiol to get to Lovren, who kind of plays more of like a sweeper almost.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost like that old school like 1-3, you know?
Last line
Yeah.
of defense. Yeah.
It reminds
Yeah.
me of like, okay, these guys are both, well, just hear me out. It kind of reminds me of like Varane, Sergio Ramos a little bit. Maybe it's closer to like the Varane Pepe pairing, where it's like Pepe can be Pepe because Varane is so goddamn fast that he
Okay.
doesn't have to worry about like
To
a ball
cover his
coming
ass?
in over top. Yeah, because he's like, all right, well, Varane's going to get there. I feel like he's the same. Lovren's the same with Vardiol. Like, all right, Vardiol going to get that. Josko will be there. I'm just gonna chill,
That's valid.
lock down the middle. No balls coming in.
Yeah.
But Lovren's a good
That's
shot.
valid.
He's been so good all tournament too.
He
Both of
has,
them
dude.
together. You could
Yeah.
have said Vardiol and Lovren are your two, and I'd been like, yep.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it's tough. Both of them have been
The
solid.
center back performances in the quarterfinals were crazy. Like you can make the John Stones
Yeah.
argument. I'd be like,
They were
yeah.
insane.
Harry Maguire. I thought he had a good game. I know the goal
Yeah.
comes off his shoulder, but he was great. Not Upamecano, he was trash. But like pretty much everybody
he got beat a
else.
couple
A lot of France's backline were trash. They were making just
Trash.
stupid decisions. Like the
Stupid
decision
decisions.
making. I'm like, bro, you're so like I just think. Like stop what you're doing and think for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
man.
Decisions that should have costed them the game.
Yeah, that penalty
Yeah.
kick.
France should have lost that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Makes no sense. But
100%.
anyway, putting their backline aside, so we got a lot of options here, guys. We got to narrow this
We
shit
do.
down.
Yeah,
We
we do. Okay, I'm locking in Van Dijk. I really feel like it's hard to argue against him.
Okay.
He's the best center back in the world, and I think he showed it here, as well as through the tournament overall. Since we're now going off tiebreakers, the guy is just consistent. I honestly can't think of a glaring mistake that he's made all tournament. Has he even been carded? Really?
The penalty miss.
That's fair.
That was it.
I mean, but I'm not holding that against the center back. But I think
no, me neither.
Okay, so I don't mind.
Was that a miss or did it get blocked?
It was a save.
Word. Then let's call it a save.
Synonymous.
Not a miss. Okay, so Virgil, are we all pretty clear as at least one of the options? All in favor on that one?
We might have to go tiebreaker with like both of these and look at like tournament wide production because like there's so many.
But if we go
good
tournament,
nominees.
I will pick Gavardiol over Love Ronaldo.
I will as well.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
But then,
but
then, Saiz, is he also?
He's been so good too.
We're like, should we flip to a 3-5-2 now,
bro?
We're about to, we're like, hold on,
we got to go 5 at the back. Yeah. Oh my god.
I don't think might, bro. I don't know because it's so difficult.
I thought it was the highest performing area of the field in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Was the center backs.
I mean, we had 2 penalty shootouts. That's insane.
That's fair.
Like, yeah.
Shit. Okay, well, this is just none of this makes it any easier. Just saying.
No. Damn it.
Okay, I'll put let's everybody just put their 2 out there. No biases aside. Everybody just put their 2 out there and don't change it. It just is what it is, and we'll figure out if there's tiebreakers needed. I'm gonna say.
Do we drop Sace because he didn't finish the game? Should we? I know that's harsh, but do we?
Damn.
Do we have to go there?
I think that might be that to me. That sounds like a good tiebreaker. It sucks, but
it sucks. I'm being an asshole, but like, is that?
It's the same.
But it gives him.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
it's fine. Because it's true. Gavardiol has played every minute, lights out, hasn't been subbed off for anything, and in times he's had to be both the center back and the left back.
He's versatile as fuck. I will say that.
Yeah,
he is. And like he's made, you could argue at times maybe even be the keeper. He's made saves with his legs that have prevented legitimate goals from going in. So,
yeah.
All right, then I'm cool with Gavardiol.
That's tough.
I'm cool with Sace.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a technicality. It does suck, but I mean, the tournament before or the entire tournament before this, the guy's been solid. It's okay to bow out on a technicality like this. Like, hopefully, just a speedy recovery.
This is not an indictment of Morocco's defense. They've been fucking rock solid.
Rock solid.
You can't ignore what Gavardiol's done. Okay, Gavardiol and Virgil. I'm locking that in as our 2 center backs. All in favor? Good.
Money.
Lock it in. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep,
all
let's do it.
Right back. We need. This one to me was actually kind of difficult. I actually like defense as a whole was good this tournament, but I don't think like it's so hard because some of the guys that we even picked in our last episode just didn't show out the same way. Like. You know, we had Dumfries against the U.S., and the guy literally costed his own team in this game in the quarterfinals. So, let's turn it back over to Jack. We'll start there, and we'll kind of go all the way around. Jack, who's your sleeper pick for the right back position?
There are 2 really good ones, but I went with Juranovic, Croatia.
Yeah, that was my pick too, actually. He's been good the whole tournament, to be honest.
He's been dude, can't believe it. Can't believe that he's playing at Celtic right now. Like, no disrespect, but
he's going to move.
I thought he was going to be a weakness. He probably will.
Yeah.
He probably will.
He probably will.
Anybody disagree hard with that pick?
Connor does. Connor has Molina.
I do have Molina. This man knows me.
Yeah,
man knows me. Look,
You said Luke Shaw earlier. I didn't think that was
this.
I mean, bro, defend it though. Defend it. I will gladly listen. Defend it.
Look, I'm not saying that he's the equivalent of Trent Alexander-Arnold here, but I have never favored offense over defensive production in my left and right backs. I'm a huge Kyle Walker stan, obviously, Man City fan. So I find it ironic, and to me, it made a point that I kept thinking about him because the only thing he was really truly producing here was offensive runs, and obviously the goal there. And
Molina?
I just don't think that could be discounted. Yeah, Molina. He really didn't have that many crosses in, but his offensive positioning there and his presence out on the right wing gave Argentina exactly what they needed to do this. I think without him, we don't win this game. So I have to say Argentina not being in the semis because of Molina, to me, I can't not pick him.
That's fair. You're nothing wrong about what you said. I think if we look at it, performance versus performance, like Molina was, his presence. What you said about that piece, him just being there as an option in the build-up play when they moved to the right side of the pitch, you could see it. Like if there was nobody there even looking for the overlap, it was nobody there being an option to the wing play. You just don't know how some of those goals get built up.
No, and it took so much stress off of DePaul. Like DePaul's had an issue kind of going forward, but with that extra option in midfield, DePaul looked a lot better this game. The man was running forward. He had space and didn't have to worry about the right so much, so he could go and press De Jong, which I've been saying this whole tournament is how you kill that Dutch midfield.
Yeah, he's the key, 100%.
Andre, who did you have?
I had Hakimi, just again, but I'm looking at it. He hasn't been lights out, but he hasn't been shitty. So he's been kind of that average, like you can rely on him. But now that listening to Connor's argument, I mean, I watched obviously Argentina every single game because Mexico had to watch them, played against them, and Molina's been fucking very consistent, both offensively and defensively. So it's hard to argue against it, is what I'll say.
Is he a natural right back?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
I think so.
He's played there his whole career? Okay.
Yeah.
At least
for Atletico and Udinese.
He plays there for Atletico, right?
For River, he played right back the whole time. So
he was? Okay.
Yeah.
He was with River too?
Because in modern football,
both of our right backs.
You don't see a ton of like Connor said, you don't see a lot of fullbacks who are just die-hard defenders, right? Like they're basically attacking merchants, right? Extra bodies in the attack, and someone who can at least do enough to maybe stop crosses or man mark when needed on a counter. But that's really it. Like modern fullbacks just aren't. They're a different breed than they used to be.
Yeah.
And so he looks like more defensively sound than he is impressive as an attacker, if that makes sense. Whereas
he's not a very good attacker. Like Molina, his decision making is pretty slow. Actually, I'm an Atletico fan, Andre. I don't know if I said that, but his decision making is pretty poor. His passing, it's not where it needs to be as a fullback to be dangerous offensively. Like he can get the assist here and there. He can put a cross in the box every fourth chance, but he's just not that guy offensively. And I don't think defensively he's especially locked down either. He's been good the World Cup. But when I look at Juranovic, how he was able to literally clamp Vinicius Jr., I don't think I've seen anybody do that in the past 6 months. And going forward, his pressing, I think he was just asked to do a little bit more that neutralized the entire, Brazilian game plan. Did Molina neutralize the Dutch attack, their offense? I don't know if you could say that. I mean, feel free to disagree.
He had one tackle, but he was playing offensive. He was in the midfield. The right back was Romero. Romero handled all the balls into the back right side of the pitch. Yeah. So Molina really didn't have that many defensive duties this time. That being said, I think the offense wins it out for him. I as an Argentine, at least, I'm admitting my bias here. I can't, in good conscience, pick anybody else because without him, we lose this game.
Yeah, that's fair. A lot of passion behind that pick.
Molina, it was very.
Don't concede. I'm right there with you, honestly, bro.
The way that I'm thinking about it
was my pick.
The way that I'm thinking about it too is we kind of skipped over Kuti as a center back, so we'll give you Molina. Why not? We'll throw Argentina in there.
This is a negotiation. I appreciate it. The concession there. I'll take that. We're going back. See, this is why I gave up Luke Shaw in the back. If I do this, Molina. 3 of my center backs can be Argentina.
The long man's game. Man's game. I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, shit. I guess I'm the odd man out. All right. So that we're doing Molina.
We'll go Molina.
Yes, sir.
All right.
He had a very good game.
Okay. How are we doing this 3 midfield? Because this is you can go like double pivot. You could go inverted triangle and just just kind of a single pivot into an 8 and a 10?
Yeah, I think we should flip it from the last round where we had the 2 pivots and the number 10. I think we should flip it to a 6 CDM and then an 8 and a 10. What do you guys think?
Okay. Want to start with the 6?
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Let's start with the 6. Somebody else go first. I got to think about my 6. Jesus.
I'll give you my 6.
I'll go first.
You want to go first?
Andre, perfect. No, you got it, bro.
Chomini.
Is he a 6 or an 8, bro? It's so hard to tell in France. Like with Real Madrid, it's very clear. Like he just slots in a Casemiro spot.
Casemiro left, he came in. Yeah.
But he pushes up. He's truly box to box with France. And it's so hard. And you saw the goal. Where did he take the goal from? Right?
Yeah, I know.
He took it from 25 yards out, banged it in. I mean, and the guy's got a finish from distance that doesn't mirror any many 6s out there. So I don't know. I mean, I'm down to keep him as I actually think Chouameni was minus the incident. He cost the first penalty.
Yeah. But outside of that, dude, he's so solid throughout. Like he's one of those guys that gives you like minute 1 to minute 90, like all in. Like he doesn't shut off. Yeah.
Dude, is Amrabat right? a 6 in your? He did.
Chouameni conceded 2, right? Was he responsible for 2, or was it Upamecano that did this?
The second one was
free
Teo.
kick. The last free kick of the game was also Chouameni.
Okay.
He fouls Harry Maguire.
The second penalty was Teo Hernandez pushing basically out the back.
By the way, what a shitty fucking the ball's like 10 yards in the air. Like what are you doing?
Deschamps needs to sit that man down and be like, you almost costed us a semifinal. I just want you to realize that. Like you almost cost us.
And Upamecano. That should have been a PK on him, by the way. The one Kane just turned him.
At least a card.
Bruh.
At least a card.
At least. Yeah. Well, that would have been his second yellow and a red, right?
I think so.
Did he already?
My man played for free.
Bro. No, there should have been a couple reds there. We can talk about that referee eventually.
Anyway,
it's gonna have to be the after
hours.
Can
we call Amrabat a 6, by the way? Because that's who I had.
He's
another dude.
A 6.
Yeah, he's been all over the fucking pitch, though. You know what I mean? Like he's one of those guys that's like he just the engine this tournament alone.
The engine, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I saw
everything flows through him.
I saw that Spider-Man meme where it was like, who was in the middle for, or who was the midfield 3 for Morocco, and it was Amrabat pointing at himself 3 times.
Yeah, that's 100%.
I actually had Amrabat as mine as well.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm going Amrabat too. I'm gonna ride this hype train just because I gave up Saiz in the defense.
Yes, sir.
See, there you go.
Let's go Amrabat. The
barter
really
game. Yeah,
I don't think I could have told you what his position was in the lineup if I hadn't looked at it.
That's
the
what
dude
I'm saying.
Was fucking everywhere. Yeah. But that's
he is the engine that makes Morocco run.
Yeah.
That's what you want. That's what you need to go far in a tournament. Yeah,
100%.
Plus, I have this theory: when a guy goes bald, like willingly, like you can see the hairline that he's got, right? Like when you have a player that is willingly bald, like just chooses to be that way, not balding, not anything wrong. Guy's a badass. Get the fuck out of his way. Like I firmly believe that. I have a whole theory around it. We could dig into it later.
Pepe, Shaolin monk shit. Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
Like I don't fear Pepe with the curls. Pepe with the curls? No, I could give 2 shits.
Right above.
When he shaves it, damn, I'm locked in and I'm ready.
I love it.
All right, the 2 mids above him, above Amrabat.
Jose, you go first because I stole that first pick from you. For the 6.
Man, see, this one is. I'll be honest. I don't think there are that many like amazing options at 8 and 10.
Should we just go like my left and right, or like
sure,
like give him as a pair again?
Because
I don't have a 10.
Tell you what.
There's no 10 in mine. I just picked like a
right
and left side.
I don't want to define it as that. Like I don't want to say this guy was the clear-cut best 8, the best 10. Just 2 center mids that aren't necessarily a pivot, I guess you could say. They're just box-to-box midfielders, just true center mids.
Come on, JT. You know who you want to say. And I can see Connor smirking. I can see Connor smirking too.
You already know, yeah.
This round you have to give it to him.
You want me to do it?
Okay.
Or you?
No, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it, bro. I'll do it for Connor. I'm going to throw Messi in as the 10, bro.
Damn! All right, that's not what I was expecting. Oh, my God.
Wow.
I think, I don't know, man. It's so difficult for me because in the last one, if you guys watched episode 18, we had to exclude Messi because he's he has this weird role with Argentina where he starts as a forward, but he comes back into the midfield to play a true 10 time and time again, whether it was the group stage or any one of the knockout rounds.
Yep.
The goal against Mexico. I mean, everything, right? He's coming back into the midfield to receive the ball and then figure out how he dictates the play. It's hard not to call him as a 10. And because we left him out of the last one, I'll throw him in as one of my 2 picks. I am totally down for anybody else to take that second midfield pick, but it's going to be pretty hard to convince me that Messi doesn't deserve a spot in the quarterfinal round of best 11.
I want to hear Connor now, because that's who I thought you were smirking about.
You know who I was going to go with first was Luka. Luka has been living rent-free in my fucking head ever since I saw the Croatia was on the same side of the bracket.
He's in mine.
Luka.
Yeah.
Luka is, dude,
fine
I say
wine.
this again and again. He's a fine fucking wine. You got to have taste to appreciate this man. Like, I think it came to a shock, or came as a shock to a lot of casual fans when he won the Ballon d'Or. But, I mean, the guy has deserved that. Without Messi and Ronaldo, he's got another one, I think. Like, I mean, he is just, I'm honestly, I'm realizing that I'm a stan. And I'm a Modric simp. The guy
in real time.
I think if you love football, you have to be.
You love football.
How can you not appreciate it?
The guy is everywhere. He produces offensively like a G, but I mean, he's also he's like the Moroccan guy. He's fucking all over the place. He's the engine. He'll play 120, he'll play 180 if you ask him to. And that little guy, he's so small. And I mean, oh my God, when he was lining up against who was it, Casemiro or Neymar before the penalties, or was it Thiago Silva? Who was it that he shook hands with right before penalties? But I mean, he's just so
probably Casemiro.
He's so small, but you could just see the fucking heart that this guy's got. Like he does it all. He does it all.
Modern day Johan Cruyff. Cruyff, for sure.
He does. What he does is it allows Brozovic to play a very specific role where he doesn't have to go too far out of being just a pure defensive mid, and he allows Kovacic to do what he does at the same time. Like he does a lot of the dirty work that allows his team to operate in a way that doesn't make them feel overwhelmed. It's like, bro, do your individual job.
Yeah.
And I will take care of the rest, I promise.
And
I love that.
Here's another thing, too. 4 years ago, I was at Croatia-Argentina at the actual game.
Whoa.
And watching him play, I'm a Real Madrid fan, so I was like, okay, I'm going to keep my eye on Messi and Modric. Dude, Modric was all over the fucking field. He would not walk on the field. There was a throw-in, he'd be at least jogging, getting back into position. So, number one. Number two, a lot of people gave him shit, I guess, for lack of a better term, and saying, okay, well, he was only good because Rakitic was there, and he was only good because Kovacic was there, and then Rakitic is out, Brozovic is in the middle, he's still just as good, if not better. Like, my man continues to play regardless of who's in the middle alongside him.
Either way, what kind of fucking argument is that? Like, he's only good because it's Brozovic.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like,
no,
so
it's the other way around.
So by that measuring stick,
you don't watch
enough. Should be fucking phenomenal. Should be world beaters. Like by that measuring stick, right?
You're not watching. You're not watching the game. You're not watching the game.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's a terrible measuring stick.
I'm
actually, bro, I'm totally down
Lights up.
for a Luka, Messi, Amrabat midfield 3. I'm just saying.
Dude,
that is
oh my God.
Ultimate
I'm
team.
totally down for that.
Holy fuck.
But does anybody disagree? Does anybody have a different pick outside of those two? Jack looks like he's about to just rip into us with a steel knife.
He's got Paredes.
No. Hell no.
Please.
I mean, not touching my squad.
No, he's trying.
I only played 20 minutes. No, I'm looking at it. So I didn't have Messi in my midfield, which is now throwing everything into absolute chaos. Modric 100%, Amrabat 100%.
Okay.
I'm just going to say it. I put Griezmann as the 10.
Dude, yes. Okay, valid. That's valid.
Hard to argue
Why
against
does
it.
he play this way for France and not for
knew
club
you were
level?
gonna say
I do
that.
not understand. Bro, as a Barca fan
I know.
who wanted him to succeed so bad.
Y'all broke him. It was y'all's fault.
Whatever. Fine. Say whatever. He's a grown-ass man.
This
as far as
is
I'm
on you.
considered. Like, play your football. Be worth the price tag that we paid for you, bro. Be worth it. If not, I never once talked like egregious shit about Griezmann. It's just the way that I feel about like Memphis Depay. I'm like, dude, just be worth what we paid for you, please.
Coutinho.
For the love of God. Coutinho, another one. Like, it's just like, dude, I want him to succeed so bad. When I watch Griezmann with France, the man balls. His passes seem to be exactly where they need to be. The runs that he makes, how he just consistently offers value to his teammates on the field. Look, Jack, he's not even doing that for Atletico Madrid, bro. Like, I don't think so anyway. I haven't seen it this season. I just want him to be consistent across the board, international and club. And that's not a fair ask because there are very different systems in place.
Sure.
But man, I want to agree with you so bad. But holy shit, do I have like just a bone to pick with Griezmann over time, man.
Yeah.
God damn. Anyway.
Dude, I don't even like Griezmann because he left. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
That's actually
he pulled a
that's really
LeBron.
fair.
Dude. I mean, he came back, but when LeBron came back, he won a chip. So now I need Griezmann to do something.
To be
Win me
fair,
La Liga.
he only left, or he only came back, I should say, because he couldn't make it work.
Y'all weren't
Barca.
using him.
And,
yeah.
It's just we couldn't make it work with him. Like, I think if he had found success, he probably would I don't know, shit on Atletico Madrid fans in another way. I don't know, maybe who knows? Like, I have no idea. But it's a
Ronaldo thing, dude. Like, he left United,
bro.
broke their hearts, won everything with Madrid, came back and was fucking a bag of poop.
I was under the firm belief that when Barca signed him, that we didn't need him, that I don't know where he was going to fit into the system, but that he was such a good player and attacker and one of those guys that you just could never count out, that I was okay with bringing him on. Now, when he left, I was just like, most Barca fans are like, good riddance. I'm never going to be that way of a player. We signed him for a reason. That's just always how it's going to be. But I was just like, man, I hope he's successful again, because I don't want the world to remember someone as great as Griezmann to be just like a supplementary player off the bench that doesn't offer a ton of value.
For sure, dude.
When we all know he does. Maybe it's short hair Griezmann. Maybe his locks were preventing him from being, usable at Barca, but the guy just could not make it work. So I don't know.
I think as his douche level went up, his play went down.
The correlation of douchery
inverse
like quality.
It
game,
was
like,
inverse.
it just wasn't there.
Inverse
A little too much Fortnite dancing. It just got a little out of hand, and the man's vision was clouded.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
tough.
I don't know, man. But who knows, bro? Again, he had to play under Koeman, so can we really blame him that much?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And don't tell me France and Atletico Madrid play the same way. So
Yeah.
Deschamps has gotten consistently the best out of Griezmann, and for that I will tip my hat. So I'm actually okay with having this argument. Griezmann or Messi as that second midfielder.
So here's the thing: without giving away the forwards too much, what we could do is move Messi up and then put Griezmann in there. I'm very happy.
We should all agree what position, though. Like, before we say anything, like, is he our right wing? Is he our center? Like, striker? Is he
would
left?
have to be. He would have to be. Right wing.
Where would you put him?
Right wing.
That's where I had him. Spoiler alert. I had him as my right wing.
Did you?
I'm trying to think. Like,
I'm okay with that.
Who else?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Who else is better than that? I don't think. Connor,
Nobody.
did you see anybody that you had above Messi at right wing?
No, dude. I mean, offensive production here was pretty tough. Like Dembele, not really. I mean,
No, he didn't do enough.
Honestly,
no.
since y'all made me call an audible, who I was going to say off the top of my head, if you forced Messi to become a midfielder, I was going to say Saka, because I actually thought he had a very good game.
he did have a good game.
It was weird
But-
that he was pulled. That he was the one that was pulled off, right? Why wasn't it Foden?
I mean, Foden.
I
thought
thought
shortly after.
I just
Yeah.
think you drop one of your pivots sooner, but
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
we can probably
Also,
talk about
why
Gareth
not-
Southgate.
if we
sucks
wanna
for
talk
a long
about-
time.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we want to go down that route, why don't you start your top scorer, fucking Rashford, period?
Dude.
Like, dude. But
Because
whatever.
he's pragmatic. He has a system. He doesn't deviate from it. That's just who he is. And
He-
that he's always
to
played
be,
that
to be
way.
fair, there were moments where that system looked really good. They just
Sure.
the boys couldn't put him away. Boys
Yeah.
could not put him away. Harry Kane can't be the only clinical finisher on the team. You know,
No.
Can we call him clinical after that?
Yes.
that
You
penalty
can.
he sent.
we
forward?
can. We
You still
can.
can.
We can.
Yeah, dude.
Look, hear me out. He missed
My man
that
is stud.
because he knew in his head, he was like, I'm going in the exact same position on the goal, but I got to put sauce on it and I got to put it into the top left corner. I'm going the same direction to psych him out, but just in case, because he knows Lloris, he's like, he might know exactly where I'm going. I got to put more sauce on it. That was a captain's decision to say, I need to be good enough to put this in the top left corner. Unfortunately,
Yeah, that's fair. Would you have changed the taker for that second PK? Since
No.
he had already taken one and he
Yeah,
knows
I
you're
don't think you change it. I don't
Kane.
think
Still
you
go with
change
him?
it.
Kane, baby. He's
Because if the second guy misses, Southgate gets completely destroyed for not putting his captain and his true number 9
Yeah.
in that position when he already made one in that same game.
But even then, I mean, Kane at that point he had 3 assists and 2 goals. one of which was off of the PK in the previous game, or in that game earlier in the game. Like he's on form. He's your fucking guy. If anybody's going to drain that, it's him. Unfortunately, he got into his own head. Maybe he just mishit it a little bit.
I don't think he got into his head. I think, in all honesty, it's like the ball never lies. The Spurs in him took over. And, I mean, you can't defeat what you are. You are who you are.
Oh, JT.
You are the poster boy for Tottenham, and it showed. It showed all the way through. I love it. I'm here for it. That shit was awesome. I love seeing Spurs fans consistently take L's. All right,
hold my tongue. I'll hold my tongue.
You're more mature man than I
right now.
Yeah, I'm not mature at all. I'm here for all of it. All right, so are we in agreement then?
So we're moving Messi up.
Moving Messi up, putting Griezmann in the midfield. All right, I'm done. Let's do it then. Okay, so we got Messi now at the right, left winger and striker. Without giving away too much. I don't care who goes first. It could be anybody. Does anybody have a really good pick for left wing for the opposite side?
There is no good pick. They're all trash. This is the position where I said everybody was trash. Tell me one left winger who did not have an ass game. Everybody was ass. Mbappe was ass. Perisic, worst game I've ever seen him play. Foden did nothing. Should I keep going?
Yeah. I was so critical of Foden. I think Mbappe had a worse game than usual.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. In the later stages of that game, seeing him go head to head on sprints with Kyle Walker was amazing.
That was awesome. Everybody was like, "Look! They're doing the thing."
I know, dude. It was awesome. Just seeing that level of speed together was great. But I agree, he didn't do anything crazy on that left side.
It's a hard position to pick this round alone.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going
Joao
Felix.
A concession though.
Joao Felix?
Was he playing?
Joao Felix is literally worst 11 of the tournament. He's literally in the worst 11 of the tournament. That man is booty. I'm sorry. He's a spoiled child.
And you watch him every week, so you
already age 22.
You know, I think you know better than most, but
attitude, man. He's talented, but he's lazy as shit, and I think you saw that in the game against Morocco. Yeah, he can strike a ball. Yeah, he's got cool looking hair. He's got the flow, but that was one of the worst purchases ever from Benfica for 105 mil or whatever it was.
I thought it was more than that.
Was it 150?
That was like
130.
I think I got my 5 in the wrong place. Regardless, it's depressing.
It was a pretty penny, bro. It was a lot of money.
It was stupid, and it's looking dumber and dumber. I'm just gonna say I went Buffal as my left wing because he defensively was an animal, but I didn't really have any pick I felt strongly about here.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough because especially for this game, there were certain teams that set up in a way that didn't allow for us to easily pick a left winger here.
Mm-hmm.
The Netherlands had a mid block that they set up, so you didn't really get to try a true winger. Argentina had 2 strikers and 3 mids, didn't really get to try a true winger.
Yeah, Neymar was playing through the middle.
Yeah.
Vinicius did not have a good game.
Vinny was on the left, but he got substituted, in the 70th minute? Like, he just wasn't impactful. Brazil was really slow to start off the game.
Yeah.
So
Rodrigo really didn't do that much either once he came on. Like,
no, Rodrigo.
That's what I'm saying. There's no standout performances, dude. Like, nobody balled out. You can make the case for Foden. I thought he was decent, but nothing spectacular.
His energy was solid, and you know what? What really surprised me during that game was Foden's technicality. Like, people love to say that. Even I myself, I'm like, oh well, what he has that Saka doesn't is like his touch, technically his thinking. He does. I was watching the France game on my little phone. I was watching it like driving. I was working this catering shift out in Long Island, so I had like this 45-minute commute, and I was watching it with this Indian guy next to me, and we were watching it, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not just talking out of my ass here. Like, this kid really does know what the fuck to do. Like, it was good, but it didn't lead to anything. Kind of like Joao, He's always almost there, and I think that's why people hate him so much, is because he is always almost good, and he never, it very rarely does he follow through, and that is so aggravating.
That's true.
So aggravating. There's never any payoff, and it drives me crazy. So I'm comfortable not putting Foden there.
So we are saying Buffal then, like that.
You guys agree with Buffal?
I actually, when I think about all these picks,
I'm kind of shocked.
going in for me was Foden. Like, I know we just kind of shit on him a little bit. Going in for me was Foden, only because I agree with you. There weren't too many options for us to choose from. And of the options that we had, there wasn't like any standout performance. But Foden's play, him retaining the ball, him keeping England in possession in certain moments. And then once Saka got subbed out, his ability to penetrate from the wing into the interior part of the midfield to try and create some chances, especially when they were losing already, I think was enough for me. But again, we just don't have that many. We don't have a huge selection here. Like I'm just kind of picking at what I think would work.
But let's make this interesting. I think you're on a good point there, and I'm not saying that I'm on there, but I think this is an interesting discussion. Who do we think had more of an impact on the game overall? Even though nobody was like outstanding, there wasn't like an outstanding performance. Who directed or who impacted the game more? Who had more of an X factor there?
I feel like every time Morocco went forward, everybody was locked in. Fans, the other team, Portugal, everybody, right? It's like they had a very strict system in place and incorporated their fullbacks and their wingers immensely. Buffal, I think his work rate there. Well, first of all, what I'm saying is reflective of the entire fucking Morocco team.
That's
the work rate.
It's tough to
Buffal
highlight
coming back
players
to play defense. Everything, man. They all stood out in a very positive way. Whereas, like with England, you kind of have to pick your players because of who they are, and we expect more out of them as a whole. But Foden, I think, can we say that maybe he was put in there as someone who wasn't supposed to be a tried and true winger, and he was someone that was meant to be an inverted winger who added another layer of depth just strictly to their midfield. He'd grab it, cut in, allow the strikers to drift a little wide maybe, and then he would find a way to find that cutting pass that would create opportunity for Harry Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. To me, that looked like it was the strategy. I just don't know if the rest of his team was on the same page.
Yes.
You could say that
Buffal
maybe his positional objective, he might have been better at that than Foden, because his job is basically harass the Portuguese back line. Don't let them just chill on the ball. Defend your ass off.
Yeah.
You need to drop back and double the either Dallo or Bruno Fernandes every single time. Bruno Fernandes was having to drop the midfield to get the ball half the time because he couldn't get around Amrabat and Buffal.
Him and Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva were back there.
And Unai, I'm going to shout that guy out. He was kind of my dark horse for one of the midfielder positions. And then when he gets the ball, break the line, draw a foul, slow the game down. And he did it 10 times. So that's why I think Buffal, positionally, maybe was a bit more successful than Foden. But again, I didn't think anybody was spectacular or even great. I wouldn't use great to describe anybody playing out left.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right. So we got to pick one, guys. we got to nail this.
Andre, you have Foden?
I had Foden too. But again, I think it's more based on the expectation of level of play, right? Like what we've seen historically, what we expect out of him, especially in a pretty intense game against France. Like you want those difference makers to step up, and even that can be said about Mbappe too. He had a fantastic tournament up until that point, but he got shut down by Kyle Walker, Hendo, dropping back to the right back position. Both center backs for England were pretty fucking solid throughout. So you can't, when you have that high expectation and you don't fulfill that, then it's easy to say, no, you didn't play well. But I do think that Buffal all in, not only what he did, going forward, but also just buying into the system. Like I'm going to fucking have to put on the overall and I'm going to have to work my ass off.
Yeah.
So from a work rate standpoint, to get a result against a really solid Portugal team, you got to give it to the man.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys think.
So Buffal and Foden. Well, then that's the two we have. It looks like, right? We're split here. So then you talk about the whole tournament, and Foden has not featured, whereas Buffal has been a mainstay.
There it is.
We might have to go
the
to
tiebreakers all tournament. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Good
so
for
we got
Buffal breaking in over some of the best players in the world.
Hell yeah,
That's
dude.
crazy,
Unreal.
right?
Hell yeah.
And we talked about it a lot. Like Andre and I did, coming into this tournament, we expected this to be. We know there are upsets every World Cup. We all of us here have watched tournaments over the years. We felt like this one, for whatever reason, maybe it's Qatar, maybe it's the landscape of club football right now, but we felt like this tournament had so much potential for massive upsets all the way around, and we're seeing it not just with teams, both individual performances. Man, I love it. I feel like there's only one tried and true pick for the striker position. Many think he's dog shit, but he's got every record to really back up his individual performances, and the man's just doing it on the biggest stage. I talked a lot of shit about him when he was at Arsenal because we'll dig into that rant another fucking day. But I have Giroud as my clear-cut striker of the quarterfinals. Does anybody disagree?
Yes.
Oh God!
Yes.
Bro. As you wear a France jersey. Okay, go ahead.
Doesn't matter. Weghorst for Holland. Single performance.
I'm down.
Alone.
I'm down to have this debate. I'm down to have this debate. When did he come into the game?
Good
What
question.
minute? Did anybody know? It was like last 15.
It was late.
Last
yeah,
20.
it was pretty late.
And then he comes in, and they changed their whole strategy.
Yeah.
They changed their whole strategy, and he scored twice.
Yeah,
He came in the 78th minute.
Even before that, when he's on the bench, he's out there yelling.
Oh yeah.
I mean, did he
getting yellow cards?
My man.
He got a yellow card. Didn't even touch the field.
My man's vocal.
You need that.
But that
That's
ref
good.
was crazy.
Yeah.
Mateo.
was
Yeah.
crazy.
I know. How many cards was it? By the way, 18. 18
17.
yellows. 17. Holy fuck, dude. That's
17
gotta be like
and
top
a
3.
red at the very end. Yeah,
That's gotta be top 3.
Okay, so it tied a World Cup record. Argentina, numero
Of
uno.
course, dude. I was gonna say recipe for disaster, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah, Jesus.
Anyway, my pick would be Weghorst, but I want to hear it from Connor and Jack. What do y'all think?
Yeah, Connor, who you got?
I had Giroud.
Did you?
with Weghorst at close behind him.
Jack?
What
I'm
about you,
not
Jack?
going to like my pick. Harry Kane, baby.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He was
Harry
my
Kane.
third. He's my third.
Harry Kane.
he's up there.
No single player has caused the French back line that much trouble and wreaked that much havoc than Harry Kane in that game. I know he misses the penalty.
Until he didn't. Until he missed the PK, and then was the French's
he made
best
the
friend by
first
far.
one, and I think what's not being spoken about enough with the PKs, he's literally taking it against a guy who he's probably shot 5,000 PKs against.
Yeah.
There's no goalkeeper
Yeah.
in the world that I would rather I would not want Harry Kane to take against a Hugo Lloris. Club
I
captain,
think
8 years together at the club. Like, that's not who you want. The guy knows Harry Kane like his own fucking wife at this point.
Yeah.
So, like, the mind games, that's a different level. Like, that's crazy. It's like trying to think of another, like, example of just strikers and goalkeepers in the same team. I can't think of one right now, but
Because there isn't. It's 10 years. 10
Tough.
years of playing together,
Yeah.
understanding each other, and I think co-captains for much of their tenure together. Yeah, you're right. Who on Spurs knows each other better than those two guys? Probably nobody.
nobody.
I just can't cheer for that fucking dude. All right, so we got Harry Kane, Weghorst, and Giroud. I think
Giroud
we have.
had a moment of magic, but I don't think he did much else.
He didn't do much
outside
in
of
the
that.
game.
No,
I
he
will
didn't.
I
concede
thought
I
he was
scores
he was
because it
banging on
deflects
the
off
door.
Harry
He
Maguire.
was scary. He was scary the whole time. He had a few opportunities. I really think his press on that defense cannot be underestimated. Yeah, they might have controlled it, but I mean, the guy, for me, the energy to see him continuously producing, the smile he had on his face carried the momentum of the French offense.
We're gonna put him in
And-
because he was smiling.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's a good-looking dude. So
It's a good looking. I know the whole time I was like, ooh.
That might
I'm
be
playing
fair.
with
But this ain't
man,
best
looks good.
11 most handsome from the group stage or from the quarterfinals. This is best performance.
Well, I get
I
in
don't think
on
he wreaked havoc. I
merit.
think Maguire and Stones had him clamped. To be honest,
I don't know about
I think
claims.
he had one opportunity or two. He had like a half chance that he kind of scuffed, or I think actually Pickford might save it. I can't remember, but it's a weak shot, and then he wins a header, which everybody knows he's great. And by the way, that was one of the best deliveries of the entire tournament from who?
Griezmann. 100%.
Griezmann,
Yep.
literally like an indefensible ball. It's going right at Pickford.
Maguire
but it
was
hits
out of position.
Maguire's shoulder.
Maguire was well.
He's in the Stones Maguire sandwich, but he still somehow wins it. That should never happen. And it deflects off Maguire. Pickford can't adjust to the deflection, and it goes in. Harry Kane was unchained, bro. Upamecano should have gotten a red, should have drawn a penalty
gotten a
against him
red.
earlier.
Yeah.
Literally had the back line panting. They had no answer for him, and he was not getting any help really from his wingers. Saka a little bit, especially in the first half. Foden I thought was pretty mute. So I'm talking about like impact on the game. Yes, he misses the penalty. He should have had a third penalty if we really want to make that argument. Upamecano should have been sent off. It wasn't. The ref didn't call it.
I agree.
I'm going Harry Kane.
Isn't that
That's
ref
why I
under
go Harry
investigation? I saw something on Twitter, but I didn't know if
Probably.
it was
Really?
Twitter bullshit.
Probably.
Jesus Christ.
It
Okay,
was
I didn't
bad.
see that.
But like,
I
what
will
are they
say-
going to do? Give him a red card like retroactively? They're going to make him play another 20 minutes? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
what? Harry
I
Kane
don't
and
know.
Hugo Lloris are going to meet in the streets of Doha and have like a one penalty
A standoff.
Shootout.
stand
cool.
off.
It.
That's what they should do.
That is what they
That's
should
what
do.
they
I would
should
pay
do.
I would pay per view $120 for all 45 seconds of that.
I will say this. The only argument I have is that Giroud. Okay, so I think
You're a
people,
hater.
like coming into this tournament, don't
That's your
watch
argument.
Giroud. Anyway, I think Giroud. It doesn't have a lot of expectation on him. So, and I think most people aren't watching what he does on that French national team. I don't think that the two center backs had him bottled up. I think, like Connor said, he actually put pressure in a way that got me pissed off because I never saw that at Arsenal. Never saw that level of pressure come in on the defense coming from a solo striker when the two wingers are so far apart that he really doesn't have help on the pressure standpoint. He has to do it all himself. I don't know where that came from. Deschamps must have talked to him. He had his Wheaties, that morning, whatever it may have been. The guy did it. And he had a couple chances that, yes, didn't go his way. He couldn't get the right head on it or the right foot on it, whatever it may have been. The guy also, I thought, completely hyperextended his knee on one play. I can't remember when it was. I thought he was going to be out of the game after that. That Mbappe was going to move into the striker role, and then we're going to have somebody, out wide come into the game. I think for what France was looking for, the opponent they were playing, and I think most people expected England's defense to really bottle him up because he doesn't offer much in the form of movement or press. I think he exceeded expectations. And at the end of the day, when you look at everything said and done, they both had unique opportunities to impact the game positively.
Mhm.
Giroud did and Harry Kane didn't.
Harry Kane
honestly
did
how I
impact the game
see it.
positively. He did impact,
But not
the game
enough to
positively.
get the W.
But it's a team sport.
And he had the most direct opportunity to get the W, and he missed it. And not just missed it, he sent that shit into the stadium. 45 minutes away.
He
there were
arguably
people-
contributed just as much as Olivier Giroud in that game, though.
That is my only critique. Is like strikers are measured almost
Clutch
exclusively
factor.
by one thing, is clutch factor, and can they take their team to that next level? And
Yeah.
one striker did, and one striker didn't.
If it's head to head,
Unfortunately,
between Kane and
it's
Giroud.
different roles.
Yeah, that's fair.
What'd you say, Jack?
Like, Kane has to play more of a playmaker for England. Giroud
does.
literally
He's a
is
10.
just dude head goals
Target guy.
and score.
Isn't that sad though? Like considering how much talent is on that roster that he feels that with
Yeah.
Spurs, I get it. He has to be that way because they have nothing but pivots in that team. Like they really don't have like a
They-
great
no creative midfielder.
But Kane can offer that. I don't think Giroud has that capability. I think Kane
can't.
has the potential to play the 10. I don't think
Yeah.
Giroud has that capability.
Hell no. Giroud he's a one-dimensional striker. That is all that he does. All he does is score. He doesn't offer movement, doesn't offer pressing, doesn't offer extreme distribution.
That being said,
That's really it.
I'm a hella turncoat this episode. And one man had more offensive contribution than both of these guys, arguably double. Weghorst.
That was my pick.
God, bro. All right, so we're back on the Weghorst. All right, so which way are we leaning?
Son of a
Can't
bitch.
ignore it. Can't ignore it.
All right, let me. I feel like with Weghorst, okay.
Weghorst
Yes,
versus
he gets-
Kane, Jack. Weghorst versus
Yes,
Kane.
he gets. Well, let me ask you guys something. Let's have a discussion. Maybe we'll all change our minds. Is Weghorst impactful because he comes in and he changes the game, or is he coming in at a time in which Argentina have literally conceded all possession and are allowing the Dutch to just cross balls into the box? Luke de Jong, you could argue he changes the game too because he's big and tall.
Yeah.
Now they got 2 6'5" guys to mark. Virgil van Dijk staying up for some of these. Like, was it Weghorst? Was it Weghorst who thought of the crazy set
Free
piece to
kick?
roll it under, where Berghaus rolls it under and he slots it in? I mean, he's got to score it and he does, but I just don't know. He's got the goals and assists and stats look cool and they look sexy and stuff, but I don't know if he had that impact. What the hell did he do in extra time?
Yeah,
Not a damn
because he doesn't
thing.
offer much. He doesn't offer much. I mean, if you watch him with Burnley, he doesn't offer much either. I mean, the guy is just he's a big body. He's a big body. He knows how to run at people. He can body up center backs. He can hold up play, and he can get on the end of crosses. You know, you could argue him and Giroud have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Yeah. Giroud's just better, like much better, significantly better.
Yeah.
Like Giroud's world class at like heading the ball.
Okay, so I think the issue here is like we need to define impact.
Okay.
Yeah. We're getting meta here.
Define impact. Who when you say who had the most impact on the game, is it purely goals from a striker? Goals that, you know, that change the outcome of the match and allow one team to go through or not? Or is it total holistic play irrespective of score?
I think
Don't all do it at once.
Unbiased. I like total
another
football.
way to look
fair.
at
That's
it
fair.
too is, yeah, that's fair. Another way to look at it too is if you take a guy out of that specific team, right? Like for example, say Benzema was playing over Giroud, say, you know, Luke De Jong was playing over Weghorst, say, I don't know, Rashford was playing over Kane. How does that impact that specific team in that scenario?
I
Like,
agree.
That is a
That's
good way to look at that.
kind of where I was going. Or that's where my mind was at. You articulated it a lot better than I think I could have. But without Weghorst, the Netherlands don't go through.
We don't. Without
they
Weghorst,
don't
we
even
don't
get
go
it.
into extra time.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. I
Yeah.
think the scoreline for the France England game is pretty much the same without Harry and without Giroud.
I agree. 100%.
Who else puts that goal in? Who else converts that ball from Griezmann besides Giroud on that team?
I think they have other opportunities.
Dude,
I think
yeah,
they have
they're
other
deep.
opportunities there.
Yeah, they're deep.
But the one most clear-cut opportunity, I agree with Jack. That ball that Griezmann played was so undefendable. Like there was just no way.
Yeah.
Like people can indict Maguire for like not getting to it or getting his shoulder on it. I'm like, dude, it's amazing that he got his shoulder on it. Like it's really amazing that he got any part of his body on it, because it was the most spot-on cross from basically the touch line that I had ever seen. Like it's just like the guy whipped it
was a perfect
exactly
ball.
where it needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would, for the sake of time, I would concede Kane for Giroud, but I couldn't put Weghorst.
I think
So we're back on the Kane Giroud shit.
No, we're back on Giroud Weghorst now.
I think we're on Giroud Weghorst, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Weghorst, I'm kind of on the line with Jack. Like he came on the 78th minute. Louis van Gaal changes in tactics entirely. There's nothing special about just throwing tall dudes in the box and
You still got to
whipping it in
execute.
like Messi.
you
said.
you still got to
have to
execute.
execute. Yes,
You do,
fair.
and he did, and that's why he's in this conversation. I just don't know if he's number one.
If
No,
we go
okay.
obvi-
Look, so Giroud, like historically, I guess that's where we're fucking at now because it's 2-on-2. But
Tiebreaker.
if we're going skill overall, then Giroud is better. But I just don't think you can't discount that he did put those 2 goals in. He put those 2 goals in, and outside of that, I think he was still good mentally for the Netherlands. Like he adjusted the game plan and capitalized when Argentina did, correctly step back. He provided the final touches that brought them back into the game there. That being said, if we really are at a tiebreaker, it goes to Giroud, right? Like the whole tournament.
overall tournament, yeah.
Giroud's been having a banger. I mean, that half volley, that's the sexiest goal that I think I've ever seen.
Instant filth.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we'll lock in Giroud for the sake of time.
Okay.
I don't think we can have this argument all day, every day. Okay, so that's it. We got our 11. Boom, and I'll read it out from back to front. Livakovic and Keep. From left to right, Acuna, Gavardio, Virgil van Dijk, Molina. Our midfield 3 of Amrabat, Modric, and Griezmann. Dude, I actually like that midfield a lot.
That's a
that's a
fucking
good midfield.
dank.
It's a dirty midfield. And then from left to right with our front play, our forwards, Buffon, Giroud, and Messi. I almost wonder how those 3 would get along. The work rate would, at least from Buffon, would be insane. I think the holes in this front 3 come with work rate from Messi and Giroud.
Defensively,
Because they're none. Like there's none
There's literally
on both those
no
players.
defensive work rate from Messi. Yeah.
no.
That's where you attack out of the back is the left side. Because those guys are not going to press.
Look,
on the right
when
at all.
Messi gets you about 5 minutes of pressing a game, incredible pressing. Top tier
It
pressing.
is.
Best.
It is. But for 5 fucking minutes though. I totally agree with you.
For 5 minutes, world class fucking press.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We are at the halfway point of our episode, so let me kind of pause here. I'll stop.